Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today looking at another beer from Slice that I got from Joe, aka Jaws Arcade on YouTube. Check him out, guys. This is TMOH IPA today because this is 6 weeks old. Kind of like the way Joe does it sometimes. But yeah, I just had a boatload of beers to get through and there's just work's been busy, all this. And then for some reason I kept putting this off because it was a triple IPA, even though I love beers from Slice. This is from Slice. So yeah, this will be fun to try because I think, no, I didn't watch Joe's video of this, no. So yeah, we'll see. What I've seen from people, they really like it, at least on Untappd, because I looked this one up when Joe sent this over. Often I don't look beer up on Untappd, but most friends I have really enjoyed this. But this is Nuclear Green Matter from Slice. This is a hazy triple IPA hopped with Simcoe and Strata hops on 10%. Again, usually I'm not the biggest fan of triple IPAs, but sometimes some breweries just nail them, like Monkish. So let's try and check this one out. If you look at this one, it is it's to the clear side. And I want to bet if I swirled up the can here, it'd be hazy. And look more, like a New England IPA. But I'm guessing it's because they use a variant of Conan yeast, because that has a tendency to drop out over time, just like in Heady Topper. So it's a lightly hazy golden yellow color. It looks super, almost like greenish, kind of like a lot of their West Coast beers. It looks more West Coast than it looks East Coast or hazy, but I don't care as long as the beer tastes good. So let's check out the aroma. Yeah, quite dank, very candied. Like with Slice, a lot of these beers are really, really candied. Like, I'm getting loads of candied, like, lime and lemon Starburst. There's even, like, grapefruit vibes. Yeah, it's interesting because it has, like, the same overripe kind of profile you get from New England IPAs, but it's just not, like, crazy hazy. Like, and then also very candied, as the Slice beers usually are. It smells a bit sweet, but it's a triple IPA. That's often the big reason why I don't like triple IPAs too much, is they are sweeter. But a huge bursting, juicy and candy-like hop profile. Like, yeah, again, like Skittles, Starburst candy kind of notes. And like lemony and limey. And then definitely passion fruity and like bright. It's definitely bright and singy. It smells really intense. I mean, no trace of 6 weeks even. That's not old. But as Joe says, it's not, I still say myself 4 weeks is probably prime time for most beers that are hoppy, but again, 6 weeks is not going to be too much of a difference. Neither is, maybe 7 weeks or whatnot. But it smells really good. It's like a sweeter passion fruit thing going on too. It's not as it's definitely a little bit dank, but it's not as dank as like Wowie Nugs. That was crazy. It smells really good. It smells like Slice Hazy IPA. It's very candied. Let's try it. Cheers. Or candy-like. Thanks, Joe. Woo! Huge beer. I didn't expect it, actually. Like, it's fun because it's clear. Huge pop of sweetness. Maybe I should drink this a little bit fresher because the sweetness is really big. It's like almost like pure candied passion fruit. Like candy passion fruit Starburst, passion fruit Skittles. Like so much candy sweetness. It's really good, but like it's so candy. Like it's crazy. Like it might be the most candied Slice beer I've had. It's a 10% beer. Of course, it's going to be sweet. But that's why I always gravitate more towards, your singles or your doubles in terms of any kind of IPA, because I think they often get like slightly cloying. I think the only times I've really enjoyed double IPAs has been when they've been a bit more bitter than this. But I'll also say the big thing for this is like it's still dry, which is really nice. And this is a really good beer. It's just not like where I'm like, wow, because it's quite sweet, especially compared to what was it called, Hit the Gas, and also compared to Triple X OJ. Triple X OJ was actually really, really crazy, like you know, juicy and overripe, but also candied. But this seems like the most candied, or just like Skittles hard candy, whatever flavored slice beer I've had. Because it's like it's so much like it's pure like Skittles or Starburst with pineapple flavor. There's so much of it. But the big plus for it, it's dry, and it finishes really nice and dry, so it's not cloying. And there is a little bit of bitterness, but it fades really quickly. There's even like a little bit of a crackery, bready thing to it. Not a lot though, but like passion fruit is the main dominating flavor here, but also definitely a bit of pineapple, and there's definitely also some grapefruit, like classic grapefruit. I'm guessing that's Simcoe, but like it screams Strata as well, like that just bright tropical vibe that Strata gives off is totally there. And then there's the slightest edge and hint of an earthy, like slightly resiny hop flavor as you got like in West Coast IPAs or get in West Coast IPAs. Just a little bit. It's not a lot, but I'm guessing that's also Simcoe. But huge, impactful flavors in beer. It's really good, but it's definitely not my favorite slice beer, just because it's sweet. It's a little too sweet for my taste, and that's again usually why I don't prefer New England IPA or triple IPAs to doubles and singles. But it's worth the shot for sure. It's like when this airs, it's probably not something I'd trade for, but any other slice beer gets up, especially West Coast and New School West Coast, because they nail those. They also do the hazy stuff really well, but what I love is their West Coast stuff because they do it just to a T with flavor profiles like this, but dry and bitter and snappy. This almost falls in between, like, something like that. It is very, heady topper alchemist like in terms of its profile, but definitely more candied than their beers. So it's definitely not my favorite slice beer. So it's still really good, and it's got nice flavors. But I'm gonna go 90. Like, it's just a little bit too saturated and sweet in terms of like crazy sweet candy like flavors. At least for me, I would just use a little bit more bitterness and just less sweetness. But that's why I usually don't drink triple IPAs. But that being said, I think it's still really good. It's worth a shot if you like these kind of beers. And yes, I'm drinking a triple IPA on my own, but it's a Friday night, and it's okay. So cheers to that. But yeah, it's nice, but it's just the sweetness, and that's again why I usually like the flavors are great, and they're super saturated and intense, and then you have like this lingering sweet finish. Like if or lingering, like it does finish dry, but there's like a big pop of sweet kind of malty flavor, and I think like if it just didn't have that and it was a double IPA, I would probably like 94 or something like that, because it has the saturation of flavor that I'd want. It's just like the sweetness is just too much. I just figure out I'm sick of sweet beer. Like when we did our live stream, everyone wanted us to try the lemon sour from Vault, and people loved it, and I was like, it's a sweet sour beer. It's just so sweet. Like I think the only beers nowadays where it's like I appreciate really big sweetness is like barley wines and box or imperial stuff, like the beers that are dark and rich already, like stuff like this. I don't need more sweetness, but that's just me. That's how it is. Let me know, guys, what do you think about the whole sweetness and like lighter or more refreshing beer styles like IPAs? But yeah, it's still really good, and I urge you guys to check out Slice if you can, especially their West Coast stuff, because it's dope. So if you guys had a chance to try Nuclear Green Matter from Slice, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Joe for the can. This was the final can for now from Joe, besides one can of Fightin' Stout we'll get to eventually, but it's stout, so there's just so many IPAs we had to go through and stuff, so we went through those first. But this is still really good, so thanks a ton, Joe. You the man. If you guys had a chance to try this, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe to the Facebook fan page, Twitter, and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers, and see you guys in another review.